Hello gems, my name is Bushnell. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you stay long enough to subscribe. I talk about femininity, personal development, and mindset. If you're already part of the tribe, darling, welcome back. Video, I want to discuss briefly about how to prioritize self-love without feeling selfish. And the first point is being self-aware. Now, this looks like having boundaries. How far can people go with you, and how far can you let people come at you? In the sense that, do people know that this is the point we can discuss when it comes to this young lady? For instance, when I was still early on in campus, my friends quickly found out that they do not curse when they're around me. And this was because they came to this discovery just by observation that I am a quote-unquote church girl. That was a boundary that was set. I did not tell them about it, but they took it up. So that's something. But then there's also standards. Probably the places you can be seen, the things you can be doing. It's always hilarious and quite interesting, but very true when I hear about the joke of the understanding girlfriend. And standards is not only in terms of dating, but also in school, in lifestyle, in things you accept. Do you have those standards, or do you just settle? And even as a Christian, you just settle for the bare minimum. As long as you know Jesus, you're good. Instead of experiencing the Lord at a whole different level and encountering Him and growing with Him. So having boundaries, having standards, and then also having EQ. Understanding probably at this time of the month, as a lady, your emotions are all over the place. And even understanding the emotions of others, like being able to read the room when you enter a place, being able to know if that joke is appropriate at that time, or the correct words to say at the time when your friend is mourning or celebrating. The second point is acknowledging your situation. Now, this looks like the people around you. For instance, if you have parents who are narcissistic, you don't put expectations to them of what you'd want them to be like. You don't project your expectations on them. Instead, you understand, okay, there are things I'll tell them and they will react like this. So instead of going into a frenzy and panicking and being manipulated by that, you understand, okay, how do I handle narcissistic parents? You start researching, you start seeing how you can be in a state where you're not impacted and negatively affected by that. Your friends, your teachers, and this can be anyone around you. How are people treating you? How are they like? Are these people who get angry when you correct them? Are these people who react in a certain way when certain things are happening? I have a family member who, when they have cash, they're a vibe. But when they're broke, darling, you don't want to be anywhere near them. And so I've learned how to handle that family member. I know my boundaries with them. And then also in acknowledging your situation, you have to understand your finances. Now, if you've saved money up to for a whole year to buy those shoes worth thousands of probably dollars, and then somebody somewhere suddenly, because of mismanagement of their money or whatever, decides to want to borrow you some money, understand that you saved that money. Don't just dish it out. Have a budget for money for others and giving and all that, and actually stick to your budget, because that's also a form of self-love. Yes, I know you want to help people, but you also have to be strategic and wise with your money. And if you've saved up for that, then darling, you deserve it, and you shouldn't feel bad because other people mismanaged theirs, right? And if you've already set a percentage of money to be giving out, let's stick it to that and keep it at that, darling. Okay, budgeting and investing and taking care of your money is a form of self-care. And trust me, when you're up there, when your money has grown exponentially, you'd be of better help to those family members or friends that you want to help than you are when you're broke. And then finally, it's exposure. Now, expose yourself to people, or have friends, have classmates or whatever that could be like, who are exposed to the kind of self-love that you'd admire. Okay, have friends who pamper themselves, have friends who take care of themselves, have friends who understand that self-love is key. And darling, if there are 9 rich people plus the 1 poor person, it equals to 10 rich people. It will rub off on you eventually, and you'll start to be taking care of yourself. You'll start loving yourself. You'll start thinking of yourself in a manner that is highly. I just imagine if I was friends with Kanye West or Elon Musk, I'd be, or Mark Zuckerberg or any other billionaire. These guys are confident. They think of themselves highly. There's nothing they think they cannot do. And trust me, it will rub off on you. That's why billionaire friends are friends with fellow billionaires, because they know it's a thing. Okay, it's something that rubs off. Also, content. Listen and watch and dance to content that exposes you to this self-love, that shows you, that teaches you on it, that guides you through it, that expose yourself to self-love. Podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, music, okay, so that you can learn and adapt. Because maybe you don't have access to friends who are in that space of loving themselves, whereby they speak positively into themselves. The way they treat themselves, you can clearly see that they do love themselves, and not in a form of idolatry, but in a form of how the Lord wants us to love ourselves, which is the next bit of that exposure, whereby you pray and you're in the Word, because the Lord will guide you into loving yourself. One of the greatest commandments is loving yourself, loving your neighbors. You love yourself. So there's an element of loving yourself that allows you to even love your neighbors. Okay, so you being in prayer and you being in the Word, the Lord, you get to experience the Lord's love in a whole other way. The revelation is just so deep and beautiful and magnificent, and through that revelation you're able to embody self-love. Alright, loves, that's this video. If you love it, share, subscribe, and put a like, and I'll see you in the next one.